What's going on, name? Welcome to the East Coast time zone. Ooh, my restream signed out. Hold on, let me get that going so I can see all the chats and all the places. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm gonna get started. What am I getting started on exactly? Let me look. My project management. Where's my name? Heavy hit reactions. I got some new ones tonight. I'm gonna check that out really quick. Heavy hit reaction, where is that? It's in the export folder. Okay. Oh, open source location. I need to copy those from my downloads folder. Alright, and should be able to just re-import. You see that source at the bottom? As long if you overwrite source files, but they're in the same folder, you can just do a real quick re-import and get all the new ones. It's pretty nice. Check those out. Awesome. That looking forward to seeing you guys back. We had a really fun test the last couple weeks. Quite a lot of new players, and we had a lot of issues bug-wise last week, but I've been kind of rolling out hot fixes as I've worked through some of those. We're trying to get things kind of patched up for the skill tree, giving you all your points from the beginning, and you just setting your build and playing. There's some issues with that, but so anyway, if you're new to stream and you've never seen me stream before, I'm Matt Kanai. I'm the lead developer of Hanako, Honor, and Blade. We're a class-based multiplayer game set in feudal Japan. So samurai and ninjas all over the place. It's 24 players max, and I work on a lot of different stuff on this. So if you watch our streams, some nights you'll see UMG and UE4, which is how you make UI. Some nights you'll see environment art and substance painter and 3D Max or Houdini or who knows what. Some nights it's just blueprints and bug fixing, which is kind of what I'm doing tonight. Some nights it's animation tech. It really depends. I've worked in a lot of different roles in the AAA and indie industry, so what makes stream really fun for me is you guys asking questions, engaging with me. just talking game development and keeping things rolling. So if you're here, thanks for being here. If you want to know more about the game, just ask. We are on Steam Early Access. We do weekly playtests on that are hosted on our Discord, which is. And I highly recommend being here if you're interested in the game or when streams are. Almost all of our announcements go there first, and that's where our community and player base is for the most part. So what I'm doing now, this is actually more or less the default Unreal test map. There's a few things that I have in here. Ooh, it's really loud, sorry. I have a test mode that basically just has an unlimited time limit, and really for design stuff like this, you really should just test in a gray box map. So I need to play as the Kenshi, and I need an enemy that is the Kenshi. And I just need to, so we have hit reaction animations that play. And actually, while I'm at it, I'm going to do something. Oh, it's no problem. I mean, you guys just moved like cross country pretty much, so it's so when you make anim montages in Unreal 4, they have a blend time that defaults to 0.25 seconds. So if you do the math, this is a 0.46 second animation. That means that at the default blend time, the entire animation is going to be blending from like your whatever pose you're in into the montage and then back out. So really you're not actually getting any of the animation. So I had lowered the blend time to 0.1, but that's still half of the animation, 0.1 in, 0.1 out. So that's still just way too much of the animation getting eaten up by blends. So what you trade off with is you have snappier animations and less blending when you shorten that time, but for hit reactions it's actually okay because they're hit reactions. You're being hit with a sword, it should be snappy and responsive. So I really only want the last couple frames. Oops. Picked the wrong class accidentally. Okay. So 2 of those have broken root motion. Let me figure out which ones those are. Okay. Okay, so that one's broken. Let my animator know. I need a re-export of that. All right, so moving on. Shigo loading screen doesn't load text and death bugs. I had to put a fix in for death bugs before. I can show the game a little bit while I'm verifying this fix. Alright, so what I want to do is I'm going to add 3 players. Actually, this would be easier to test in the test map, because there's no being safe in this map. So what I'm basically going to look for here, before I add bots, I'm just going to kill these dudes a couple times. Just to see if I get a redundant, like, you died message on the wrong window. I have clients open on my other screen. Okay, I'm just going to add a lot of bots. It's going to get real slow. And I'm just going to basically run around and see if I get other players' "you died" messages. Hey, Callie, I put a patch up earlier tonight around 8 that should fix a lot of that stuff. I have noticed that sometimes bots will just sit there at base until, like, a player has been connected for, I don't know, 10 or 15 seconds. That's kind of intended behavior. I think it's something that I'll probably have changed at some point, but that's technically not broken. The other problems we're kind of working through now. I think my editor just crashed. Oh yeah, it's probably because I'm not in the game mode. There is the issue with if you spawn and your character gets stuck and you can't move. I think that's the skill tree is supposed to open for you, but it doesn't let you, or it doesn't open. You can still open it with G, but I think you have to close the skill tree from the X to get your movement back if it doesn't open. That's something that we'll probably have fixed before Wednesday. I noticed that it's like it brings up the mouse cursor like you're gonna get your skill tree, um, but you don't get the skill tree, but you keep the cursor, which you usually need a menu, and when you close a menu, it usually like puts the mouse back in the game, and that's just what needs fixed. So. I'm submitting some work really quick. Okay, so I believe that's done. Yeah, we have a bug for the input lock with this. I wrote up basically how to reproduce the bug, and that probably will get fixed. This is basically what we're working on this week. Um, see, that's fixed. Okay, so that stuff's done. Let's see what's next. Shigo loading screen, that's kind of a hard one to test. Okay. So the loading screen for this map doesn't load the text information for it, so I'm going to try to get to the bottom of that. Oops. I don't know how I'm even going to test this one, to be honest. because there's not really a loading screen in the editor. Oh wow, that actually might be why it doesn't work. Wow, that's really dumb. I think that's actually why. Am I missing something? So it thinks there's already a row called that. Where am I missing that? Oh, it's right there. Dirt. So that shouldn't matter at all. Loading screen blank. Is it because is it the only one? I think I actually might get one even if the game doesn't work this way. Nope, because Steam. I was hoping I would still get a loading screen. Maybe I can. I think I can open a map from here locally and still get one. It should boot me back to the main menu. No, it's just like stuck in purgatory. Nope. Okay, so it worked this time. I guess it could have been because there's other maps that use the same image. I don't think I solved for that. So in the loading screen table, even though I have, yep, it has its own screen. Okay, so yep, that was the fix. That was kind of a shot in the dark. I was like, you know, I think that old map, it's, yeah, because it would have had just an empty text there. All right, I think it's weird that that would fix now because it's worked before. I want to try that like 2 or 3 more times just to see. Okay, worked that time. It crashed, but I don't think print string actually even works for these. Okay. I'm gonna try this with 3 clients just to make sure that this actually is working. It definitely wasn't working before, so that's good. Just move all the windows. Basically, the loading screen was completely blank before. And if you're playing that map for the first time, it's kind of good to know what the problem, or what the basic setup of the map is, what the rules are, what hints are, and so on. Oops. So we just try Yep, there we go. Oh god, the formatting, what happened? Okay. That looks super broken, but it actually is working. It's just this resolution, it doesn't know what to do. Should probably... this has a scale box for the whole thing. So it actually does get, like, it's kind of weird because it actually looks like it would scale fine based on this. Okay, well, that one's done. All right, to the project management. Done. Gold weapons don't apply in game. That's going to be a fun one. So I can actually go back to the test map for that. While I'm at it, all right, well, there's nothing obvious in there for what I was looking at. It was a different bug. let's see. The old loadout. So I need this. I'll probably need a loadout component. This thing's just the most giant pain in my ass. Do want a breakpoint on this. I'm going to go to menu map first. Just one client, not on server, and just play. I don't think, actually this isn't going to work. Callie, thanks for the follow if you're still in here. I just saw it, the alert for it. Okay, so I need... No, so I can do this, hold on. Let's do X. No, I want to do custom event. Save to loadout. And I'll do, it has to be a weapon skin. I'll do a... integer here that's weapon ID. Get loadout item. Nope, that's not what I want. Yep, that's what I want. I'll have to do... No, that's not what I wanted. do? Can I do select based on? It's just oh. Can I do? I don't even know. Alright, let me see if it just even lets me do this. So I need just one player right now. Nope. Hit a breakpoint. I'm gonna move that. I'll come back to that in a second. I'm going to disable that breakpoint. I just need to get in game right now is the Kenshi. Just to make sure the function did its thing. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, actually I just saw okay, so what I'm actually going to do is do this. Have level blueprint, custom event, save to loadout. It'll work in the level. Sometimes the column editors only work in the level blueprint. Get player controller. I know 0 is going to be me. I can cast to BP Hanako player controller, which is what my custom class is. Can do an integer, ID, E character class, default's going to be Kenshi, so I don't always have to type it. And this is going to be saved to loadout, and then I can just match those parameters up. So get Kenshi, save to loadout 1001. Loadout saved. Okay, so now it says golden naginata. Oh. Golden katana saved a weapon skin, loadout success. So if I suicide, I should have a gold katana. And I do. Okay, so now if I do H change class, nada, I should have a golden staff. And I do. Okay, so here's what I'm going to look at first. I need my So let me try something else. So I have gold katana. Do I see this dude's gold katana? I do. I do. So it's possible that the loadout screen so I have a few things that I want to know. Go to loadout 827, so should have the data. Let me see. It has to be a problem with the store item. So this is equip owned item. So it saves the loadout slot. You know what? Just to be safe, so if I do load loadouts, what is this? This gives me, so it does give me a saved game. It's not the exact same one as the parent. What is the parent? Main. Because it's possible. So loadout saved game. Main loadout store. Let me take a peek at this. I guess it's possible because the loadout component's loading your loadout, but when you're setting this, it's possible that the loadout is not valid. So it is calling load loadouts and then setting that. Okay, that's what I need to do. So what I'm going to do is valid. If it is, proceed. If it's not, load loadouts. Set loadout, save game. And then do yep, because it'll set that and then go. Okay, and while I'm in here, I did have another task for populate store item. Oh yeah, populate item list by type. It's looking for owned or equipped. I'm actually, for now, I really should do the reverse of what I did for the other one, but for now, I can just skip this. Let me make sure my Steam is still signed in. It looks like it is. So this has additional failsafe that's saving to it, just to make sure, because this was working before. I do want to check my functionality in here. Oh, so equip is the same. So this should actually print a screen that it worked. So I have a local variable called save object. If that's valid, it continues to do the things. And if not, it loads to the same. Actually, I don't know if, I guess that's the same functionality. And then it goes through the thing. Okay. So I need to see where my breakdown is. So what I need to do is open up mat test map. Or sorry, not mat test map, menu map. And this is going to take a minute, and I just need to do this. I'm not sure why this is taking so long. Oh, there we go. Just in case, let me make sure it's the right settings. Nope, I need one player, not dedicated. And just need to do this. So this is going to take probably like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. So if you guys have any questions, now is a great time to ask. Development about the game, video games in general, does not matter. Oh, there goes my editor. I had a lot of stuff going on, so I'll reopen that stuff and run a launch command again and see what happens. If I had to guess, there's some issues with the loadout loading when you go in game, because there's some times where it doesn't load and you like don't get helmets and stuff too. So menu map. And now we wait. While this is going, let me see if it'll let me like look at something. Like AAA or anything. Thank you for the question, by the way. The question was, if you're on not Facebook, what was your first success? Let me clarify. In what way? And then I'll answer that. Probably Smite. I had worked on Global Agenda at my first job, and it didn't do super great. And then I worked on Tribes Ascend for a tiny amount of time, and then Smite was probably the first like big success. And then moved on to Paladins, which you know, pretty popular. Did a pretty good job, I think. And got to work on the one of the basically the sunset patch for Tribes Ascend, and make a couple levels that were really fun to work on. What's going on, man? And then the most recent one is probably Maneater, which, you know, just really shattered my expectations. We made Maneater really fast, and I didn't really know what to expect. It was our first time doing it was our first time doing like single player, and I didn't really know, and it's been pretty crazy. It really depends. I mean, it depends on the size of the project, how many features you have, what's like the gameplay like, if there's a story. Excuse me, how long is it? But I would say AAA, it's usually like 2 to 4 years, and like we did Maneater in like a year and a half, so that's super fast for like a AAA type game. Um, Indie can be, however, I mean, you could make a mobile type game in 6 months. Um, but it really depends on how much you're working on it too. Like this project, um, I've been working on it since like 2008 on and off, and this Unreal 4 iteration started back in like 2013. So, but I'm putting in 4 hours a night for like 4 or 5 nights a week, just so it's not a full-time job. It's like on top of my game dev job, which thing as an individual. Um, the games I mentioned before, like Smite and all that, of course, there's a huge teams for like Maneater, and the professional games I've worked on. It's 50 to 500 person teams depending. This project, there's 7 of us that work on this. So if you're wondering why I'm doing this laggy, glitchy process, Steam doesn't work in the editor, and the item store, it's checking like ownership from Steam, and doing some things before it applies the weapon. So I need to um, load into the full game, so that I'm basically logged in through Steam. There's ways to get Steam to work in the editor. The person that we had on the team that did that doesn't work on it anymore, so that's a problem. I only worked on KF2 for like a couple days, and I've helped look at performance with like new maps and stuff every now and then, but I really didn't work on it a whole lot. It was kind of like I started at Tripwire in like November 2017, so KF2 had been out for a while, and I think it was like the finishing touches on like that year's Christmas patch, and then we started a different project that went for a while before Maneater started. It's so weird that launch does a cook, or yeah, it cooks first and then does a build. That's so weird. Everything else is the opposite. It always builds code first and then cooks. I'm not a coder, really. I'm a technical artist professionally. That's a lot of like performance analysis, understanding the engine and how all the systems work, um, like all the performance commands and all of that, understanding asset creation and how art teams make assets. I was an environment artist by trade for 6 or 7 years, somewhere in there. Did level design for a year or so, and then turned into a tech artist kind of by chance. It was kind of I didn't plan on being a tech artist, but it kind of turned into it. Um, but it's a lot of like shader creation and like basically if an artist wants to make something like I don't know how to make this in the engine, it's kind of falls on my plate to figure that out. Like we want an ocean with foam and like waves and all this stuff, and if they don't know like how to pull that off technically, like I'll make a shader with settings for them to tweak the look and stuff like that. um, it's a fun job. You're always doing something different. It's been fun to learn all the platforms. A lot of my job is making sure that our games work well on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, whatever. So um, it's fun. I feel like tech art is a role that is like to use like an MMO analogy. I feel like it's a like an elite class. Like not like I'm not trying to say I'm great at like better than any other role, but I feel like you don't start in the industry as a tech artist usually. Like, yeah, exactly what you're saying, Art. Like you you like fall into tech art after doing other things. Like most tech artists were like an environment artist first, or like a character rigger first, or like a programmer first, and you have like an interest in other disciplines, and you kind of like have to. A lot of generalists, I think, turn into tech artists and like mature into that. It's like a weird specialized generalist role. Like you have to know enough about the other disciplines to help them, but you're not going to go do like senior level work in any of those disciplines by themselves. Like I'm not going to go make like environment assets at a senior level where I can make 3 or 4 props a day or whatever. It might take me 4 or 5 days to make one, but I know how to make one. How did my career path lead into this? Trying to think of how I want to tell that story, because it's the short and diplomatic version of it is I was pretty burnt out on environment art, honestly. I had been doing it for um, my project, like Hanako, this game. I'd been doing environment art for a long time on Smite. I had a role on Smite that I really liked, and I was basically in charge of like the towers and like making the towers from scratch, doing like the modeling, texturing, breaking them, doing like the destruction and the effects. Like it was kind of like paving the path for tech art in a lot of ways. Like because before when we started Smite, like someone would model the tower and then like it would go to like the animation team and they would break it into pieces, and then like a rigger who are also called tech artists sometimes. It's a totally different role though. They would like set up the skeleton and the tower chunk so you could like bake out the animation of like the chunks falling, and it would be like months of time of exchanging hands, and I kind of wrote a process to just for me to do it in like probably around 2 weeks by myself, and I never had to exchange hands. So that was just my role for 2 years basically, and there were some role changes, management changes, and they decided to move me off of being like the tower guy, and I became like a tiling set artist, like making like trim sheets, building stuff like that. And really, it was a weakness. I wasn't particularly good at that, and I was already pretty burnt out. I felt I didn't really understand why I got moved from a strength to a weakness. So I asked to move teams, uh, and that's how I moved to Paladins. And then we had a level designer that left, and I asked if I could help fill the gap. I was like, I'm pretty burnt out on environment art still, even with the team change and the change of scenery. I really want to do something different. So I did level design for like a year or two. Eventually, that's how Tribes happened. Um, and at the time, we hadn't done any UE4 stuff at my first job, and they were starting up to do some research on UE4 and starting kind of a UE4 project. And when Tribes was done, they kind of said, hey, like, you want to help the tech artist? There was only one tech artist there at the time. Do you want to help her with UE4 stuff and kind of help like the UE4 stuff get going? So I said, sure, yeah. And started out with that, and it kind of turned into she needed help with like performance stuff, optimization stuff on Paladins, because she was kind of like dual purpose, like doing tech art for all the teams, which is usually how tech art works. You kind of work with all the projects, all the teams, all the platforms. It's really fun. And I didn't know that part of it. Like I knew how to make an optimized asset from the environment, like art perspective. And a lot of my managers really hammered making clean, optimized work. So I knew a lot about the art side, and she taught me a lot of the data science and kind of the scripting and spreadsheeting and formulas, like how to analyze data to figure out performance problems. And at the same time on Hanako, I was doing a ton of blueprinting, especially on like UI and stuff that I had. When you lead an indie project, you have to kind of learn everything, and you can't always have a person on your team to do everything. So, I've really this project has taught me almost everything I know, because I've had to learn parts. If someone quits the team and we need menus made, like I have to make menus now. So that really helped with tech art. And then, my mentor she really helped fill those knowledge gaps and teach me like what being a tech artist is. And she's a really good teacher. And I had learned really fast. I felt like I reached kind of a senior level, and when there wasn't agreement that was the case, so I changed jobs. And I had known a lot of people at Tripwire for a long time. Some of my really good mentors and friends had left the first studio we worked at to Tripwire, because they're pretty close in Georgia. So I had called them up and said, hey, I'm ready for a change. I want a more opportunity to grow and impact the studio's growth at a slightly smaller studio. So that's worked out really great. So that's actually that's the simplest version I can tell, honestly. There's a lot more to that story, and politics and bureaucracy and all of that, but um, that's the fair version of the story. The one thing I've learned in my career, especially on the AAA side, is you really don't have a lot of control on what your career path ends up being. Like, studios require different things of different people, and they just sometimes you just fall into a role by accident, and you don't really understand why. And at the time, it was basically like, hey, you be a tech artist or find another job, because we don't want you to do anything else. And it's like, well, I guess I'd rather not. I would love to stay employed. So I kind of jumped into it and then realized, like, whoa, I love this way more than environment art. I'm doing materials one day and like an automation tool to figure out, like, hey, what's the most expensive combination of items, like performance wise, and what permutation of like helmets and arms like have the highest possible tri-count combination, and all these things. And I really love the role because it's so different. There's nothing to really get burnt out on, and I never hardly ever work on the same thing at work as I am at home. So if I'm doing shaders at work, I'm very rarely doing the shaders at home. So there's not a lot of overlap, to where if you're like in 3D Max for 8 hours at work and then you come home to do 4 hours of 3D Max, it's just too much modeling. So the breakup is really nice. What is my favorite platform? to work on and play on as a gamer. PlayStation, absolutely PlayStation. It's so much easier. Um, Mostly because the PS4 is just so much more powerful than like a base Xbox One. A base Xbox One, it was really difficult to work on. Switch is really hard to work on too, but like it's a handheld. You know what you're getting into. With an Xbox, there's a certain quality bar expectation that the hardware inside of it just isn't really made for. They should have released what the X and Pro are as the base hardware from the beginning. They're like a base Xbox One has essentially a 630 GT in it, and that was a crappy graphics card when the base Xbox came out. Like it was in a I think that was like a 680, or like the 700 series had just come out that year. So when you had a low, like mid-range card in a brand new console, which I think at that time that hadn't. In the past, it was always like a mid-high range card for that year. So I'm pretty excited that the new ones coming up seem to be in line with that old trend where they're a pretty dang good card from the beginning. But they all have their own list of things, quirks that make it difficult to work on, challenges. But that part of it's a fun challenge, having to figure out. That's something I'm really quite proud of on Maneater, that we released on PC, Xbox, PS4 all at the same time, and you really have to manage each platform almost like its own game in a lot of ways, and you have to really train your art teams to understand how every asset affects all the platforms. There's just certain things that like Xbox really struggles to render well. There's things that PlayStation, things that don't render efficiently on a PlayStation versus an Xbox, even though overall it's more powerful. So it's pretty complicated. And this has taken forever. I haven't done this launch in a while, so this is way longer than I hoped. Crappy iteration time. In that game, I absolutely do. You should play as a shark and eat all of the dudes that you want. That's the whole point of the game. Eating men. I still can't. Every time I see like a campaign or like political commercial, like local ad, and I hear it be like, I live in Georgia. It's a very red state, and it's I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole, but it's always like radical left, don't fall for the radical left, and it just reminds me of the Family Guy where Lois is like 9, 11, and like everyone claps. Like all I hear is like that cadence, like radical, and like all the people at home are like left. Just to work a Family Guy reference in there for you. I feel like my entire brain filters everything I see into either a Family Guy reference, a South Park reference, or some stand-up reference. Uh, Any past game you could convert to VR, which one would you pick? I'm not a huge fan of VR, to be honest with you. I get sick really fast playing it. The only one that I haven't was it's a game Tripwire published called Espire 1. It's kind of like a Splinter Cell type VR game that I think is the coolest VR game ever made. I love that game. Um, I would say like Perfect Dark from like the N64 era. Like you'd have to modernize the graphics, but that would be a fun game to play in VR. Like actual Splinter Cell would be really fun in VR. I think a lot of Star Wars games would be fun in VR too, like Force Unleashed or like the even the Fallen Order more recently. Any of the Jedi Knight games, like lightsaber fighting and like force power, like hand gestures and stuff, would be really fun. I would love to play Ghost of Tsushima and like not current day VR, but like 10 years from now VR when it's good and like you don't get sick and you can have like you can hit like locked 120 FPS on both eyes and still have like good res and um, I think a lot of melee games would be fun in VR. Yeah, I couldn't. I think fast twitch competitive shooters would be bad choices for VR. I think you need like slower pace. Wow, this is taking forever. Is it compiling like the entire engine? I think it is. Oh, nice. I yelled at it and dude, the remember the old Windows 95 like when you beat solitaire and all the cards like go flying? That would be awesome in VR. Just that. You could just like play a video of that. It would be cool if it'd be cool if you could play online poker in VR and have a setup where you can actually you can see like a like VR representations of the players at the table. Like that would be kind of cool. Because I always loved online poker back in the day before they made it illegal. Um, except for playing in person so much better because my brain's starting to blank out. Oh yeah, poker. Um, Playing in person is so much better because reading people and reading the table and body language and all that that missing from online poker made it not as fun. All right, this thing's finally done, I think. That's true. I mean, VR would still like wouldn't work very well. It'd be cool if they had facial tracking though, where it would put like your actual facial expression like on the in-game uh, avatar. Like that iPhone like where you're a unicorn and it uses your voice to like do the uh, facial animation on like the unicorn when you like text people. I can't show what I got in Houdini. It's literally just doing this like procedural ruins tutorial. It's just a terrain. It's not that exciting. Okay, so can go to classes and loadout. Kenshi gonna equip this. Did I get the equip message? 1000 equipped to weapon skin. Okay. Item. Okay, so I have 2 gold weapons equipped. So I need to. I really just need to open a map. I don't know if this map actually will show up or not. If not, I can open a different one. Well, good to know that that still works too. Yeah, we're on Steam right now and in early access. Oh, so there is the gold weapon. Okay. We host events every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, and it's usually myself, the whole dev team, whoever. It's open to the public. Anyone that wants to play that has the game. Usually, if you're a first-time player, I give you a key for one of your friends to join you. But for the most part, our entire community is managed on our Discord. That's where all of our events get hosted. We're in voice chat. That's kind of our setup. But yeah, we've been in early access for a year or two. We're hoping to ship next year, sometime before the summer. Okay, so I have the gold. I have the gold blade. Do we pay for Perforce hosting? Yes, we do. I use DigitalOcean, and because all the revisions get stored separately, we've had to upgrade space a lot. I think I started paying like $10 a month, and now it's up to like 40 or 50 because I needed like a 100. I think I have 120 gigs of space now. What sucks is like if a Perforce server runs out of space, you can't log into Perforce to like obliterate like old revisions. So you have to like log into the SSH and do all this command line nonsense to delete stuff. Hold on a second, I need to take my puppy out. I'm almost back. I'm going to do the first unboxing or unwrapping ever on stream in a second. All right. No, I have a female boxer that doesn't know how to sleep through the night, and she will always want to go outside somewhere between like 12. Usually it's around 2. This is probably the earliest she's wanted out. No, I would tell you if I had to take a dump. Yeah, thanks for that, Aman. I just realized I've been bringing up stuff Arthur's been saying, and you guys are not watching on the same platform. Need like cross-platform chat. So anyway, unboxing. Reese cups are my favorite candy, and pro tip: the seasonal ones are 1,000 times better than the regular ones because the regular ones were probably made like 10 years ago, and these are made fresh every season. And this was the first pack of pumpkin ones. They're not pumpkin flavored, but they're pumpkin shaped, which to me, I looked at it and I said, this is like fresh out of the Reese's factory, and indeed they are. And they are excellent. They're not really that pumpkin shaped though. Like, look at them. Like, that's not that pumpkin shaped. It's just like a little thing, but damn are they good. This might be 5 years old for all I know, but hi, Officer Reese is here. Hi, you got chocolate on my peanut butter. You got peanut butter on my chocolate. Psh. Ah, that is delicious. I don't even care that is pretty much just like chocolate flavored corn syrup, like pressed into over like peanut butter flavored corn syrup. I don't even care. All right, so this seems to be working. I wish I could get another client on here to see if I can see the loadout, but I think so. So let me try something else. Just because this took so long to open. I mean, they really are. Like, someone way smarter than all of us had to like figure out the formula where they can make like probably what 50 million pieces of these a year or whatever and not like completely deplete the earth. Like everyone's fat and diseased, but still. You should freak. $16 grams of sugar and then 15 grams of added sugar in one of these. That's just insane. Milk chocolate. Now peanuts are the top ingredient. Milk chocolate. Wow. There's actually no corn syrup in this. Cocoa butter, sugar, chocolate, skim milk, milk fat, sugar, dextrose, vegetable oil, salt, chocolate, whey, skim milk. Why is there whole milk and skim milk? Citric acid to maintain freshness. Vanillin and artificial flavor. A whole... Not yet, you're not. Not yet. Are you triggered now? Are you mad at me? Alright, so just to make sure, I'm gonna go back to the default weapon. Just to make sure that those work. The old Ite map. So Aman, this this map was the first map we made for this game. Okay, there's that. It's been updated a whole bunch of times, and it was made smaller at one point. But this map is kind of our like, everyone plays archers or ninjas and just runs around, and it's just a big battle, really. Nope. I might even close Houdini out all the way, and then you won't even know if it was ever there. Like, yeah, Gaben. Yeah, right, Valve doesn't use Houdini. They still are using, like, the source editor from, like, 2004. I mean, at this point, I think probably every big studio uses the crap out of Houdini. Like, I'm just getting started. Maneater was too rapid. Like there like usually in pre-production you have some time. You know, it might be a month, but you still have time to like learn new stuff and like do some pre-production research. And there just wasn't that phase did not happen at all. So it was just do the things. All right, so I think that the gold weapon thing is working. It's kind of hard to know until I like do a full Steam patch like for realsies, but um, I think so. I'm gonna say yes. Yeah, I'm on Restream, so I'm streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our Steam page. Um, though streaming to YouTube is, I don't think we've even ever had a YouTube viewer that said a thing in chat one time ever in like 6 months of me doing Restream. Sad times. So, back to the project management. Gold weapons don't apply in game. Fixed. Ooh, I never looked for, dang it. I'd have to click the stupid launch button again. My bypassing of unowned item. Oh yeah, I own them all, that's why. It probably does actually work. Back to Mondai. Oh, where did the... Does completing it on Asana complete it here? Oh, what's up, clearly different person? Let me open Houdini really quick. Bam! Oh, there it is. Goodbye. Prototype lane blocking mechanic. Let's see if I want to veto our own production. Who set up remaining classes for helmet section? Actually, while I'm on loadout stuff, I need to look at something because oh yeah, I don't think I don't think gold weapons were working in the editor either. So I need to double check. So where the hell did his helmet go? Where the helmet at? Is there just not one now? Did something get rolled back? I could have swore that I had this fixed at some point. So, guess I'll fix that. No, it's actually not the one that I need. I need Kenshi. Apply. Oh, it's super annoying. TCAP socket, did that not get saved? It's very possible, actually. Nope, it's there, decap socket. Let's go ahead and break on that then. I poke you with my poker. Okay, item def 2001. So that's correct. Hold on a second, do I have multiple things plugged into this? What is this? So that's the helmet is the target and the parent is either that or self. Make sure all that information's right. Okay. Node decap socket. So it doesn't have one for, I guess it could have helmet. So it really should have one. What the heck? Why on earth is that setting on? That just reminds me of something. I need to check on a problem I might have accidentally got backwards. Every like 4 to 5 years, and then I'll usually get a graphics card in the middle of that. Like I'm on a 1070 that's getting upgraded when those 3000s come out soon. And then I upgraded my RAM on this computer probably like 3 months ago. I started with 32 and I went up to 64. Highly recommend doing that. Okay, good, that doesn't happen. Yeah, so they don't work in this build. Oh god, close-up of the icon. So actually, let me try something here. I want this to be... I want to attach and then set the physics stuff. So if there's a frame where the head starts moving, it might screw up the socketing. But I try to think, like, my last PC before this, I never went like super crazy high end. like I think I had like 54 gigs of RAM in that one, and it was a quad core, 8 threads, and it lasted me. I probably got that. Let me think. Actually, let me look that up. Let me bring up the new Eggy real quick. Order history. This one I built in 2017, like as soon as I got hired at Tripwire, I built it like my first paycheck, I think. And then before that, wow, I bought a 7. I don't even remember having a 770. So the last one I built was in 2012. That was 2 years after I graduated college. I had a 550 in there, a terabyte. I had 32 gigs of RAM, i7 3820, and an SSD for Windows 7. That was an LGA 2011 motherboard, and that lasted me until 2017. I upgraded the RAM once, and I upgraded to a 960 at some point too. So I went up in RAM in 2016. In 2013, no, I did go to a 770, and I had a 770 in that until my new computer, which is a 512 gig M2 SSD that is amazing. DDR4 3000, which I have 64 gig of now. 3 terabytes of space. A 2066 motherboard. It's an ASRock X299. An i7 7820X. It's an 8-core, 16 threads, and then an 850 watt power supply. And this one I'll probably have had, it's 3 years old. It really is still laser fast. I really just need a new graphics card. So I really just need to see if there's like purple geometry anywhere at any point. And it looks like I don't see any in the infinite void. However, I'm halfway tempted. So the LGA 2066 socket is like the current gen of Intel's. They have some like 12 and 16 core processors, like less than $1,000, and I'm very tempted. But I'd rather splurge on a Intel 3 or a GeForce 3, like probably 3080. Let me see if there's any news on those. They're huge though. They're like they take up 3 PCI slots, and they're like they dwarf current graphics cards. They're gigantic. What's going on? You're back. So why wouldn't It should just go to that socket. Is it because... I have an idea, actually. It might be this. I feel like I might have done this before and it didn't get submitted. Multicast, and it might be a replication problem, which, God, networking is difficult, but wait, what? Oh, I did the... I bet it is replication. I bet this is going to work now. I don't need that breakpoint. So if I did this right, there should be a helmet on the dude when I kill him now. Nope. There's two heads though instead. That actually makes sense. So it's not replication. It still could be networking related, so let me try something here. So this definitely works. The head works. Do I have replicates? I don't have that replicated. And this is used to attach the thing to the... This is a confusing one. I actually do want a breakpoint on this, and I'm gonna move this to another screen. I'll move it back in a second. I could have swore I fixed this like a month ago. Okay, so here's the steps. Hit the breakpoint. What the heck is going on here? Why isn't this going into the function? Oh, it is. It's going into this function. Duh. I need to leave this minimized, or okay, there we go. Oh, damn it, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. This is where I want to be. So wait, what is this on? What world is this on right now? Client. So okay, that's a step closer. That's why. Okay, so the the parent, which is this mesh. So wait, what's getting validity checked here? The player state. Does it even need that information though? I actually think. Oh, just for team number's sake. That's the only thing it's needed for. Okay. The player state shouldn't be invalid on the client though. Let me see if I just bypass this, if it works. Nope, no helmet. Well, that's not helping. Nope, there's definitely no helmet. Does the own guy even see his own? So let me try to narrow this down. So no, your own character doesn't even see it. So there's something else going on here. Okay. This is the server. So it's adding it to the pawn. I think that's what's wrong actually. Oh, I'll find my helmet. I think. False is mesh. And that's parent mesh override. I think I need another one of these. So select node. I need override mesh parent. This is just the pawn. And I think can I do parent mesh override? See if it'll let me do this. No, so it has to get added to something. Does it have to have a target? Yeah, that's a problem because you're dead. So your pawn, it's probably adding this to a thing and then it's getting cleaned up because your pawn's dead. I don't think this is gonna work, but it might. I'm just gonna try like component replicates. Oh, that's wrong first off. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so that's right. Oh, awesome. So wait, what? That's not right. That's weird. So the clients aren't even like getting so it's not even pulling the loadout. That's probably why it doesn't work. So the server knows about it, but the clients don't know. Okay, so this is server, client. Now it knows. True, helmet. Okay, now it got it this time. Got it. There we go, it did have a helmet. The material was wrong on it, but it worked. Don't I have like a... So that time, so it was replication. So we can actually turn this off now. Nope, there was no helmet that time. So I need to get, I need to not do it based on this. No player state reference. It's kind of weird that that fails validity check though. Couldn't even tell what color that helmet was. Oh, it's definitely a red one. So do I see a Hanako one here? Yep. I wonder if I can do like, I'm just gonna try something here. I'm gonna delay to next frame and then do a get team number. Oh, if the pawn's not valid, then it doesn't really matter. Did I do a cache in the player state then? Let me try. Cache team number replicated, okay. Get team number. Set. Okay. And that's gonna be update cached pawn. Is that called? Okay, so that's actually part of the, okay. So let me try this again. I think that the team logic should probably happen outside. That doesn't work every time, so. Cast fails. Just leave it the default, I guess. Well, that doesn't work at all. That's terrible. Oops. Oh, it did succeed. And I killed a Hanako dude. I don't even see where the head went. How is that possibly 0? So how's the player state's team out of date then? That's what I want to know. Why is it still a red helmet? I'm closer. Does team num need to be replicated for some reason? Because it definitely works on creation. I wonder if another idea I'm gonna try, because I don't know what the like replication rules are for this thing, so I'm gonna try kind of what I did before. This is going to be run on owning client. Or the server is going to say, here's the info, do the thing. There's definitely something messed up. I'm close. I'm very close. Ooh, I did get one there. Let me disable that breakpoint so I can nope, still a red head. Here's another, was it a red head or a red helmet to the main dude? Yeah, it was. Run on server. I'm not sure why it would need to be that, but I always have to go through all these and then it's like the last one I try works. This is the last one, so. I didn't even see a head that time. Okay, so that is not the one. Yeah, I still think it's something else. Let me try. Okay. So the server sees me as 1, which is correct. And the other one saw me as -1. Okay, so the server sees it correct. Here it is correct. What's calling it? What replication settings are used for this thing? It's the loadout component calling it. Okay, so that's doing the server multicast setup. Okay, so I probably need to do that for this too. So there needs to be a server do decapitate. Where this would be the same thing where this is multicast and this is run on server. So the server is processing the information. The clients don't get a team number from that function for some, which is really doesn't make any sense because player state is replicated. I'm gonna just make this like pink if it's the player state, or no, not the player state one. So pink is not player state. So they all line up there because I'm doing the run on server multicast. So at that time I got -1, -1. So this, and that's the non-player state. So the pawn's dead, so you can't get his. That's really weird that the cast to player state would fail there, though. Because I'm getting a self-reference. Player state. Oh, because the pawn doesn't. Am I storing player state somewhere? It's calling this from. So it's the pawn's in the process of dying, but this is like the last thing it does. So the server gets the team, but the players don't. That's still so weird to me. And the server succeeds on this cast. I'm gonna try something else. Oops, I did not mean to double click that. Player controller. Try it that way. This one makes even less sense to me because the player controller is not replicated. So if it can't get player state, it gets player controller. Okay, so that definitely, player controller definitely doesn't work. Because it's not replicated. So maybe I do need to try that, I'm just gonna do like, I still feel like player state's the most reliable place to get your team. And that's each possession, so this should persist. So then in this function, shouldn't need that or that. I should get cache team num. I still want player state if it can. Getting close-ish, maybe. Okay. All I saw was server. Wait, what? Okay, that didn't even have a helmet. Oh, this actually isn't even the best place to do that. Oops, that's not the wrong class either. That's stupid. So it tries to use player state. Well, for the opening one, it's false, so it just uses your team, which is gonna work like every time. I wonder if I can do like, let me try this. Maybe I can cache it here. I just need it one time. So I'm going to put this in here too. So it gets a loadout. Don't want it in there. No, I don't need it in there for everything. So I do have an owner reference. So I'm just going to cache the team in the loadout, because the loadout, but the loadout's part of the pawn that's getting killed, so I'd be shocked if this works, but who knows. So that worked. So I know that was the non-player state one. So that was the cache team from the loadout, and the loadout should be there. Maybe. Yep, there we go. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 across the board. So I just stored the integer in the loadout when the other helmet's made, because that's been working. There we go. Now just to make sure I'm not doing like stupid extra replication that I don't have to, I'm just gonna try to hook this up and see if it works still. Because I don't want to have to do this if I don't have to. It's just a waste of like server resources. Okay. All right, that seems to work. Can get rid of these. All right, I'm gonna call it a night, everybody. So here is the dealio. If you enjoyed watching, I'll probably be back tomorrow night working on prototyping the lane block mechanic. You can find out more information on our Discord, discord.gg/playhanako. Additionally, our Steam page, this will redirect to our Steam page, steam.playhanako.com. Just a reminder, every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, we do a play test with the dev team, and it's open to the public. So if you guys want to join, you're welcome to. Just hop on Discord, pick up the game, and we will be on there. We'll be testing out these fixes. We'll be testing out a whole bunch of stuff. So definitely